Good evening, and welcome to the second annual 2015 Black History Celebration. I would like to introduce our Master of Ceremonies for the evening. Please join me in welcoming a man whose day-to-day mission is to pave the way for minority and women-owned firms to be able to be a significant part of every type of business transaction that could possibly occur. From constructing buildings to being a part of providing investment management to supplying any type of commodity imaginable. Whether it's in the halls of Annapolis, where Wayne can be seen leading the creation of legislation that improves each and every minority-owned firm currently and for years to come, or being quoted in our major publications here in Maryland. He can be heard passionately advocating for minority business inclusion. This evening, I have the distinct honor of presenting to you Mr. Wayne R. Frazier Sr., President of the Maryland-Washington Minority Companies Association, MWMCA, the heavyweight champion of minority business enterprise.
Hey, Randy. Stay right here. Thank you, Randy. Randy, that was a wonderful introduction. Randy Dennis is one of the most widely known and popular radio personalities in the Baltimore region. Randy Dennis and his wife, Tanya, are entrepreneurs. They have a production company where they do voiceovers and jingles for radio and TV, and they've also added an internet video commercials for various businesses and events. Tanya, his wife, has Bling Tees by Tanya and logos for Bling for various businesses and churches. So make sure you get their cards. Tanya and Randy, you're wonderful. Randy, did you start Best Fest?
Yes.
Oh my God, back in the day in Baltimore, Best Fest launched from Anne Arundel County, who? Tony Braxton. That's Randy Dennis, ladies and gentlemen. We have an award for you, Randy. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to welcome all of our honorees and guests to our second annual 2015 Black History Celebration, where tonight we will be saluting our modern-day Black history heroes, those who have been leaders in their communities and have gone the extra mile and helped others in so many ways. I'm Wayne Frazier. Good evening. President of the Maryland-Washington Minority Companies Association. And for the past 6 years, we have had distinct pleasure of working with the Cordish Companies, a global leader with 4 major areas of expertise: real estate development, gaming and lodging, entertainment management, and private equity holdings. Maryland Live Casino opened in June 6, 2012, and we have been there with them every step of the way, from hosting workshops on how to do business with casinos before there was a groundbreaking, and to ongoing minority outreach events that occur twice a year that bring together prime companies and state agencies to work along with small minority and women-owned firms. David Cordish, a pioneer, chairman, CEO, and Joe Weinberg, the president of the Cordish Companies. Joe was here. Is he still here? Well, Joe, without Joe, a lot of this wouldn't happen. And then, now working with the president of Maryland Live, Rob Norton. Rob has embraced our ideas year after year and continue to bring such worthwhile events that have helped further minority business community, like this Black History Celebration. Second to none, first-class event, wouldn't you agree? Last year, 2014, we honored Maryland Live and Rob Norton for the distinction of being the most creative and inclusive gaming facility for minority business. And the Cordish Company, Maryland Live, have donated millions of dollars to local charities and philanthropic users. And because of all of that, outreach to minorities, donations to the community, just a good, clean corporate citizen, I believe, and there's folks from other casinos, but I believe that Maryland Live, bar none, is the best casino on the East Coast. Maryland Live. I'd like to thank the Maryland Live family for believing in Pat Frazier and Wayne Frazier and the rest of MWMCA, and not only as a vendor, but as a partner, where we work together and share our ideas and partner with them. It is a distinct pleasure. Thank you. Now, ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming Mr. Chris Casey. Chris is from the office of Anne Arundel County Executive Steve Shue, who could not be with us this evening, and he would like to present a proclamation. Chris, and could Rob Norton, could you please come up? Yes.
Good evening, folks. Very happy to be here on behalf of the County Executive Stephen R. Shue. Thank you very much for your invitation. I would like to just read the message that the County Executive prepared for today. It starts out, Mr. Frazier, Mr. Norton, and honored guests, I want to express my sincerest congratulations to the Maryland-Washington Minority Companies Association and Maryland Live Casino on organizing and hosting the second annual Black History Month celebration. The combined efforts and hard work required to pull together such an amazing event is no easy task and ought to be commended. Across from the Maryland State House stands a memorial to a man who needs no introduction, Thurgood Marshall. Emblazoned on the marble is the promise he fought so hard to protect: equal justice under law. It was Marshall who said that, in recognizing the humanity of our fellow beings, we pay ourselves the highest tribute. The torch that was carried by Thurgood Marshall continues to be carried by the honorees gathered here today. Your tireless dedication to justice and recognizing the humanity of all people is inspiring. On behalf of the citizens of Anne Arundel County, thank you. And for Mr. Norton and Mr. Frazier, on behalf of Anne Arundel County and the citizens of Anne Arundel County, I would like to present you with an executive citation congratulating you on organizing and putting together the event and having it so well attended. Thank you very much, gentlemen.
It's my pleasure, Chris. Yes. I want to get a picture, Chris. Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, I'd like to introduce our next speaker, our general manager of Maryland Live Casino, who is extremely inclusive and wants to ensure that women and minority business have their fair stake here at the casino. Rob?
Thank you. So first, let me start by saying thank you to Chris. Thank you for the kind words. It's truly an honor to be recognized, and please extend our thanks to County Executive Shue for the citation. Before I begin, I would also like to take a moment to express our thanks and appreciation for Wayne and Patricia and our partners at the MWMCA. They have worked tirelessly on helping us to create such an incredible event that we hope you enjoy throughout the night. Wayne, honestly, I wish I could bottle the passion that you bring to every one of the events that we do together. It's awesome. Your dedication is unmatched. We value the continued relationship, and we look forward to being able to do a lot more events as we move forward into the future. With that said, good evening, everyone, and welcome to Maryland Live Casino. I'm glad you're here to enjoy an evening of fun and festivities. This is our second annual Black History Heroes Celebration, and thank you for being here. Tonight, as we commemorate Black History Month, it is an honor to have the opportunity to recognize these distinguished leaders of our community and celebrate their accomplishments and contributions that have made a difference in so many lives. On this stage, we are surrounded by images of legendary, great African-American icons who have helped pave the way for equal rights, civil liberties, law reform, and advancement opportunities for generations to come. Their efforts changed the course of history. The qualities that they possessed to make that happen are reflected in the talent, drive, and dedication demonstrated by our own Black history heroes in the room tonight, who embody the same principles these historic figures believed in so strongly. They are creating their own legacy of change for the future generations, and we thank them. So everyone, please have a great time tonight. We have some awesome entertainment planned for you. Enjoy the evening, and Wayne, I will turn it back over to you to run us through the course of events.
Thank you, Rob. Now, before moving to our next speaker, I'd like to remind everyone that we will be announcing a door prize winners immediately following this program. So there's a box that's been placed so you can place your business card in at the registration table, and it will remain open until 7:45. We have some wonderful prizes, so please get your cards in. Now, without further ado, I'd like to bring forth a woman, an icon, a hero in Baltimore City back in the 50s when she refused to not sit or not be seated at Reed's drugstore. Dr. Helena Hicks, a local civil rights activist, as a Morgan State College student from which she earned a Bachelor of Science degree majoring in sociology and minoring in philosophy. Helen Hicks participated in an impromptu sit-down strike at Reed's drugstore that once lived in the Lexington Howard shopping district in Baltimore City. And at that time, that was like Fifth Avenue in Baltimore, Fifth Avenue in New York. It was the main shopping district in Baltimore City. Helen, please come forward. Is that too high?
Well, you know, I'm little, so you gotta
All right.
tell me. They'll have somebody have to tell me if they can hear me. Good evening. I
Why don't you
hope you
stand
can
to the
hear me.
side? Stand to the side.
He says stand to the side.
Yeah, stand to the side over here.
You
I'm
can
sorry, ladies
tell-
and gentlemen.
You can tell I don't know anything about Hollywood or the theater or any of that because I don't know how to work this microphone. I am so glad to be here.
Speak up.
It's a pleasure to see this type of organization existing in today's world after having lived through many, many years of us being only able to go on Pennsylvania Avenue. And that's where our businesses were, and that was the beginning and end of Black businesses in the city of Baltimore. So to know that we have come to this point in my lifetime is a real good feeling for me. I wanted you to know that my quick decision to lead my mostly out-of-town classmates into Reed's drugstore when it was cold on a January morning, and we were trying to get to school in order to go to our first class, getting later and later, buses passing, packed with white people. We couldn't get on because we were the stop for Morgan. So Morgan students were there, and it was cold, and it was no place to go. Watching people go into Reed's, warm up with a cup of coffee, white students going to Hopkins, Loyola, or to high schools. They could put their books down inside, and we were standing there holding them. There's something about having been brought up in a family that was a business family and not being afraid to step out and try something new that must have just pushed me to say, we're going to go in here and sit down anyway. So at my size, and I was even tinier then, I marched in the Reeds, come on, and we went in and sat down at the counter. At first, they acted like we didn't exist for about a minute or two. The waitresses flew. Everybody got out of the way. It was like somebody threw in some tainted meat and it smelled. Get away from it. But then the manager became very, well, first the assistant manager came out, and he was very rude, and he said, you know you niggas don't belong in here. Get out. You know we don't serve niggas in here. And we said, well, we're not niggers, so we're not moving. So we sat and down. And then finally, the manager came down. Well, he was really furious. Suddenly, it dawned on me, Pine Street Police Station. Anybody my age or older knows that that was the worst place in the whole world. It was like something out of a, I guess a third world movie. And all I could think about was that it was 2 blocks away, and if they called the police, that's where I was going to wind up. In that filthy cement place, stinking, full of last night's drunks, and so forth and so on. So I said, well, we'll stay as long as we can. If they really act desperate, then we will leave. So we finally left. The manager, he saw we were Morgan students. He could tell we were going to Morgan. And by the time we got to school on the bus, he had called the dean of the school, Dean Grant. Well, Dean Grant was 100% African-American male. You weren't going to challenge him without a fight. And when that manager called him and said, your students came in here, and they know they don't belong in here, and tried to get served. And Dean Grant said, you don't want them in there? Put a sign outside the door that says, no dogs, cats, or niggers allowed, and they won't come in. So he told him, he said, we can't do that. He says, well, then they're going to keep coming in. So he gathered us. When we went to school, we went straight to his office and to the chaplain's office, and we said what we had done. And we were hoping they wouldn't put us out of school because we had broken the law. Remember, segregation was a law. It wasn't a social law. It was a law in the United States of America saying you could not go into white establishments. So we had broken the law. But all Dean Grant said was, I'm going to tell President Jenkins. He was next door in the president's house. He came over and he said, don't do anything like that again without letting us know. Don't do anything on the spur of the moment. But I'm proud of you for trying to do what this school is going to teach everybody to do, and that is fight for our right to be treated like citizens. So it was a good experience.
And let me add that right after that, 39 of Reed's stores. If those of you from Baltimore from back in the day remember, Reed's was prior to Rite Aid. Now, Rite Aid's dominate now, but 39 of those stores the following weeks integrated because of her. We thank you. We thank you. We thank you. Very good. All right. Thank you, Dr. Helena Hicks. You are definitely an icon. Next, I'd like to bring up to the stage Regina Schofield, board member of the Cal Ripken Foundation, to hear remarks from Ms. Schofield.
Afternoon or evening, everyone. I want to talk to you tonight about the Uncommon Athlete program. It's a joint venture between the Cal Ripken Senior Foundation and Rachel's Challenge. Some of you haven't heard about Rachel's Challenge. Rachel Scott was the first person killed in the Columbine High School shootings in 1999. In 2001, her father, Daryl, and her stepmother, Sandy, started Rachel's Challenge after seeing the impact that Rachel's life had had on her fellow students. In the 15 years since Rachel's death, her legacy has touched over 22 million lives and is the foundation for creating a positive climate and culture in schools across North America. Her vision, which was documented in her diaries, was to make schools safer, more connected places where bullying and isolation will be placed with kindness and respect, and where learning and teaching are awakened to their fullest. Along with Rachel's Challenge, the Cal Ripken Senior Foundation developed the Uncommon Athlete program to empower young athletes to be positive influences on and off the field. A central theme of the program is the crucial role that coaches play in the development of youth, not just as athletes, but also forming them into young men and women who have the power to become catalysts for positive change, just as our previous speaker had the courage to do so. Young athletes in these programs are encouraged to display the 5 following characteristics: develop uncommon perseverance, build uncommon relationships, practice uncommon integrity, choose uncommon courage, lead with uncommon empathy. Last fall, EcoMedia's wellness ad brought United Healthcare to the Ripken Foundation in support of the Uncommon Athlete program in Baltimore, where we were able to distribute sports equipment to more than 500 young athletes across 5 Baltimore public schools. We donated over $25,000 in sports equipment to these students. And we shared a community service day at the Boys and Girls Clubs at Metro Baltimore with United Healthcare, Cal Ripken senior staff, U.S. Marshals, and 25 uncommon athletes. On behalf of the Cal Ripken Foundation, we appreciate being invited here today. We accept this honor, and we are so privileged to be sharing a room with so many people who also, we know, live the value system along with our partner, United Healthcare. Thank you so much.
Very good. Thank you, Regina. Before moving on to our next speaker, I'd like to acknowledge the following folks who have joined us this evening. We have the Honorable Marilyn Mosby, is Baltimore City State's Attorney here. She is the youngest top prosecutor in the United States. Her husband, Nick Mosby, is Baltimore City Councilman, District 7. Janice Freeman, President and CEO of the African American Chamber of Commerce from Montgomery County, Maryland. Sharon Pender, Director of Baltimore City Mayor's Office of Minority and Women-Owned Business Development. We have Mr. Pless Jones, President of P&J Contracting and a Maryland Minority Contractors Association is here. Mr. Jeff Hargrave, who is president and founder of Mahogany and chair, a historic chair of both the Associated Builders and Contractors and the Associated General Contractors. We have Mr. Frank Kelly here from BGE. Frank is here, and he is part of the Focus 25 program that BGE is just strong in that area. We have Mr. Reggie McCauley from Pepco, PHI Holding. Frank and Reggie may be brothers soon. We have Mr. Mike Davis from McAfee Tech, one of our strongest minority businesses in the state of Maryland. If there are any other elected officials out there that I've missed, please stand. If not, next. We do, oh, excuse me, Jill, Delegate Jill Carter. Yes, indeed. Well, you one of our honorees. That don't count. Next, I'd like to bring up to the stage an individual who a lot of people believe he's from Virginia because that was his last big assignment, but now he's back here in Maryland because our new governor said we need a change. We want to go in a different direction. And he tapped this Howard County resident as the new Special Secretary of Minority Affairs, Secretary Jimmy Reed. Come on up, Jim.
Well, good evening. Let me first thank the Maryland Live, Joel Weinberg, Wayne and Pat Frazier for organizing this wonderful and worthy event tonight. My hat's up to you all. Let me put things in perspective. Going back, it was summer of 1963. About 250,000 people came to hear Dr. King speak. You know, back then, there were no invitations, no websites to show you the date. And Dr. King certainly was not the only person who was a great speaker, the orator, or the only person with great ideas. But what he did was simply go around and tell everybody, that everyone that he met, I believe. That's what he said. I believe. And everyone who believed what he believed took up his cause and told more people what he believed, to the point where 250,000 people came to Dr. King speak. Now, how many of them came for Dr. King? Probably none. They came for themselves. It was what they believed about America, that they would get on the bus ride 8 hours long and stand in hot, scorching Washington, D.C. sun in the middle of August. It was what they believed. It was not just about black versus white, because 25% of them were white. You see, Dr. King believed there are two sets of laws. One, the laws that we make. Two, the laws that come from the above. And it is not until that our laws are consistent with the laws that come from the above that we will live in a just world. You know, even today, we still have a gap between the two. But as Dr. King believed, one day, we all believe the gap will be closed. We are here tonight because we all believe. Tonight, we celebrate the 39th annual Black History Month, since its federal recognition in 1976. Tonight, we reflect upon and honor the great contributions of Black African Americans, their contributions, achievements, even struggles. As an immigrant myself, I can speak with a conviction that Black African men and women have persevered despite hardship or prejudice and have enriched this great nation in innumerable ways. from great leaders like Martin Luther King to our own Dr. Hicks sitting here tonight, to my predecessor, Sharon Pinder, my colleague, Gail Bassett, to our own Lieutenant Governor, Boyd Rutherford. I see our Black Caucus member, Joe Carter, many others. The Black Americans have always been on the front line fighting for equality and social justice.
Right.
Now, this is the reason why we are here tonight to pay tribute to those extraordinary contributions made by both the past and present generations of African Americans. We are here tonight because we also believe that we are working towards an America that could truly live up to its ideals one day, that could truly celebrate the diversity of its people, that could truly encourage all Americans to pursue the American dream. As the new Secretary of the Governor's Office of Minority Affairs, I intend to utilize my experiences in both private and public sectors to ensure that Maryland maintains its national reputation as a leader in small and minority business inclusion. For those of you who may not know, Minority Business Enterprise Program, known as MBE, is one of the oldest in the nation. It was established in 1978 to eliminate discrimination within public contracting marketplace. Now today, that program also includes other cultures, presumptively disadvantaged. But we must never forget, MBE program, its foundation rests within African American civil rights movement. It is African American who laid the foundation for other minorities to pursue the American dreams. And MBE program clearly illuminates that. It is the African Americans who blaze the trails so that others may also strive for higher heights. So let me conclude by stating this. I want to emphasize that we ought not to think of African American contributions only during Black History Month. We ought to celebrate it every day because Black history is an American history.
Go ahead.
We only designate this month as Black History Month because to signify, illuminate its importance. What Black history is an American narrative. It's part of us. It's our history as well. So let me conclude. As Dr. King many years ago gave us that I have a dream speech, I think I could conclude by saying what President Obama said. He said, the change will never come if we wait for another time or another person. We are the people that we've been waiting for. We are the change agents. So I want to thank you, all of you, for partaking in this worthy process, worthy event. My hat's off to you. Thank you.
Yes. Jimmy, hold up. Yes, yes, yes. Every great leader needs someone to what? Give him a boost. This segment of the program is a special one to me because it's the honorees shouting out who, as a Black history hero, impressed most upon their lives. And as I announce each honoree's name, I wish you would stand at your chair and then give us in 4 or 5 sentences your hero and why. Let me start off by giving you mine. My hero is George Washington Carver. My background is in trades, and he believed in 1894 that Negroes should be self-sufficient. I believe the same, that Black people need to be self-sufficient. The first is Bilal Ali of Ali Entertainment, LLC. Ali.
My hero is Muhammad Ali, and the reason why is that he transcended the sport of boxing. He was willing to stand up on the right side of an issue when he refused to be inducted into a war that he felt fundamentally was wrong. And for that reason, he's my hero.
Very good. C. Gail Bassett, Secretary of the Maryland Department of General Services.
Good evening. I'd like first to give a shout out to my brother, Jimmy Reed. I tell you, that was a fantastic presentation, and it's great to be a colleague of yours. Well, my hero is my mother. I know we have all these other heroes and stately, accomplished folks, but my hero is my mother, Bernetta Bassett Jones. She passed away about a couple of years ago, but she truly was my best friend and my mentor, and she was a tremendous influence over me. And so I guess that says it all. And I live her legacy. Her legacy. I am a product of who she is, from being a servant leader, from being a teacher. As you know, Wayne, we fight the same fight: small business, minority business development. And her emphasis to me was, and she used to always say, life is a process. Just go through it. And I would assure you that you will have some great times and not so great times, but I will assure you at the end, you will be rewarded. And I'm still in the process, but as I travel through these great experiences, and it's certainly an honor to be appointed by Governor Hogan to be the Secretary of the Department of General Services, and she would be at this day, and I know she is with me in spirit, very proud. So thank you for the recognition, Wayne.
My pleasure. Mr. Joseph Gaskins, Executive Director of the Biz Center.
"You will be free or die" was her slogan. Born in the state of Maryland in Dorchester County in 1822, she was an abolitionist and a humanitarian. Thanks to the efforts of Harriet Tubman, African Americans were led to freedom through the Underground Railroad. With the courage of a lion, over a 10-year period, Harriet led over 300 slaves to freedom without a single casualty.
Wow.
Harriet Tubman is my hero.
Excellent choice, Joe. Joan Harrison, Supply Diversity Program Manager of Washington Gas. Joan?
Good evening, everyone. When I was first given this assignment, it was really hard for me to pick just one hero because I personalized it. And I thought about my mom, who's here with me today, who definitely has had a big impact and influence over my life, as well as my husband, who is an entrepreneur in his own right. But I thought to just focus on my grandmother. My grandmother, Ruby Sergio. She lived to be 100 years old.
Wow.
And she was probably the first person that I ever saw or was introduced to entrepreneurship. Because although she worked at a regular job, she also had her own business. She actually was a commercial and residential cleaner of homes. And she was my first boss. She gave me my first job, and she was very tough, but she taught me the value of working hard, a good work ethic, and how you would be rewarded for your hard work. And she paid me well. But if I did not do my job as good as she thought I should have, she deducted some of my money from my pay.
Good boss.
She also taught me the value of valuing your worth. My grandmother didn't drive, and one of the reasons why I liked going with her to work was because if no one in the home could take her to her destination, her employer would pick her up and take her where she had to go. So I thank my grandmother for just instilling in me that you could do whatever you wanted to do, because you could think, I was 10 years old when I worked with my grandmother. So that was a big influence over my life. So thank you.
Thank you, Joan. Dr. Helena Hicks, local civil rights activist.
My hero, I really have several of them, but I guess for tonight, my hero would be my cousin, Dr. Louise Young, who's no longer with us, but was one of the first licensed female physicians in the state of Maryland.
Very good.
African American.
Very good.
Person. And why did I choose her? Because all of us, the younger members of the family, we all knew Louise. Louise made it a business, her business, of having contact with us constantly, pushing us forward, making us understand that we could be anything we wanted to be. It didn't have anything to do with color, didn't have anything to do with money, didn't have anything to do with family name. It had to do with your ability to do a job well and your determination to go as far as you chose to go. And I know there were times, we had a big family, and there were businesses in the family. There was confusion and arguments in the family. But Louise said, it doesn't matter what you have in material things, it matters who you are. She said she had a desire to always help as much as she could her fellow man, which was why she became a physician. And I think she inspired me to do that. And I was lucky enough to know her until I was grown and married. So that she had influence over my life for a long time, helped me make some difficult decisions about school and about education and purpose and some structure to my life. So I always remember Louise as the one person in the family who guided all of the younger people to have success in their lives.
Very good. Joanne Jackson, Minority and Small Business Enterprise Coordinator for Anne Arundel County Office of Central Services. Joanne?
The Annapolis-Anne Arundel County community recently lost a historic treasure. My hero, George Phelps of Annapolis, passed away last Thursday. George was the old school type. He was always cool, always calm, and collected. He was very commanding and always in control of everything around him. His mission in life was to serve the greater good, to help folks whenever and wherever it was needed. He was a community activist and a strong advocate for Black economic empowerment. George was the first Black deputy in the Anne Arundel County Sheriff's Office in 1951. He was a businessman who at one point had over 265 people working for him when he created Phelps Protection Systems in 1974.
I remember that.
His security forces maintained order at Cars Beach Club, the segregated beach in Eastport, where Blacks by the thousands came to see such stars as James Brown and Jackie Wilson. Using his own money, George created an affiliate of OIC, which is a nationally recognized training program headed by Dr. Sullivan. His vision was to prepare Black folks in Annapolis for the new jobs coming into the Annapolis area. George's forte was in his relationships that he developed with local politicians. He was someone they could rely on in times of trouble. When violence erupted in Washington and Baltimore during the assassination of Martin Luther King in 1964, George was primarily responsible for keeping riots from breaking out in Annapolis. When a new county executive was elected in 1982, George's crew wasted no time in telling the new county executive what they wanted. They wanted to push the county into the 21st century and embrace the concept of Black economic empowerment. They wanted the county to create a minority business program. They wanted a minority business coordinator to move that effort forward. And as you see today, because of George, I'm here today in front of you being recognized as my peers as a Black history hero.
Yes.
George, like many others before us, are the real heroes. I would like to share a story about how powerful George was, how his passion moved people to act. The Black community had been clamoring for years to have the historically and culturally significant Wally H. Bates High School renovated. For those who do not know, Wally H. Bates was the only high school Blacks were allowed to attend in Anne Arundel County between 1932 and 1981 when it was closed. It sat vacant, a blight in the heart of the Black community. Planning for its renovation started around 1995, and by 1998, contracts started coming in for its renovation. When I asked agency officials about minority subcontractors, I was told point blank they didn't think there would be any. I immediately called George. And by the end of the day, George wrote a strongly worded letter to the county executive demanding an explanation. Not only did he receive a guarantee from the county exec, but the agency ended up awarding several contracts to Black subcontractors. I have pictures of the groundbreaking ceremony if anybody wants to see it, and pictures of George. Whenever I asked him how he's doing, George would say, "I'm holding up the blood-stained banner." They don't make people like him anymore. It was his passion, his remembrance of our history, his driving force to make things right in the world. I am honored that I had the opportunity in my lifetime to be a part of the Annapolis experience, to have met George Phelps, and to go to his home, to sit down and talk to him, listen to his wise counsel. Just as I am honored to personally have met the great Congressman Parham Mitchell, partied with Robert Clay at his famous July 4th picnics, and consulted with Arnold Jolivet when I needed a pep talk. In closing, I would like to acknowledge my friends and associates from Anne Arundel County who are all here today. I also would like to honor all the Black mothers and fathers, the Native American grandmothers and grandfathers who brought us through this maze. They never taught us to hate, only to love. Thank you, Wayne.
Very good.
And Pat.
Very good, Joey. Peter Smith, Councilman, 1st District Vice Chair of Anne Arundel County, Maryland.
Thank you. I'm certainly honored to be here tonight and to be sort of pointed out with my efforts. And I spoke to you, Wayne, earlier when I first got the email. I thought they sent it to the wrong Pete Smith. I wasn't sure that they were referring to me. But I do want to sort of speak about my Black history hero. It's an individual that many of you do not know. He didn't make a lot of sort of waves in the world, but the world he did impact, the one world he impacted was my world. And so that's Mr. Angelo Armistead. He was one of my teachers as I was growing up. I didn't have a father, and so this man became the man that I wanted to be. He planted the seeds in me that told me one thing, that you can do anything you want to be. You can be anything that you want to be, and I believed in that. And so what I learned from Mr. Armistead is that our words have power, and they have power because they do one of two things. They can make they can move someone's mind, or they can move someone's heart. And when you put those words to use, you can change the landscape that we call this world today. And so I'm honored to be here today because of the words that he encouraged me with, the way that he moved my mind and the way that he moved my heart. And I'm blessed to have been exposed to him growing up. And to all the fathers out there, I got to tell you, it is the most gracious and most powerful job you have is to be a father. And I wish I had known mine, but Mr. Armistead was certainly that individual that allowed me to be the man that I am today. He's not my father, but I owe him my life. And so he's my Black History hero. So thank you.
Very good. We're at the closing of the evening. Rob, we want to thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, please give a round of applause to our honorees and salute each of them as our Black History heroes.
The following bids are available from the Anne Arundel County Purchasing Office.